I'm excited today to celebrate National Library Week here in the library with an open house. So we're inviting all of our community folks to drop in for a visit and just see what's going on. We've got a lovely table set up with history of our library all the way back to these days when it was housed in the Arts Council, where the Arts Council building is. Nicole, she's our tech services librarian, has been here the longest, and she actually worked over there. So she remembers the times before they built this building. Along with her scrapbooks, we have like pictures of the groundbreaking and all the interesting things that put this building in place. Of course, our main branch here was founded in, I guess that means opened in 1999. So I wasn't here then, but I'm sure they were partying like it was 1999 with the library. We're going to have refreshments all day and give folks a tour around the building. And I've got a great presentation to share. If you're interested, I can put it up on the screen and let you watch it virtually and then see if you might have any questions. And we're also introducing the work of our new 5-year plan. Hold on, I'll show and tell on the video screen. This is a copy of our new plan. You can find and read all about it online. I don't know if it looks maybe backwards on my screen. I'm not mirrored correctly. And this is our regional plan. This is a smaller copy with all 3 counties. But on the inside of this, we made it a big copy so you could actually read everything. It's kind of tiny if you have a small copy. And you would have to magnify to read it. But this just talks about our goals and our objectives and our tactics and things that we're trying to accomplish over the next few years with, of course, our mission and the 3 words that we live by: connect, inspire, empower, and explore. So I thought that was kind of cool with National Library Week, since National Library Week's theme is connecting with your community. And as I mentioned, our mission and our theme for the week is connecting with our community. That's our mission. But the theme for National Library Week is connecting with your library. So you guys are connected with us this morning. Thanks for showing up. If you didn't know, there's about over half of our population, nearly 60%, 58.5% of our county residents are library card members, have cards. And part of that number is including the student access account. So if you're a student in Wilkes County, your student ID number serves as a library card number. You don't have to register with the library to use your student ID. You can just come in and borrow from the library. You can get up to 10 books at a time with no due dates, no fines or fees. Students have, to rely on transportation a lot of times to get books back and forth. So that's a courtesy to help them with schoolwork and projects and just in reading in general, checking out books. So about 15,000 of the Wilkes County card holders are students. And of course, sorry if that was in the way there. State of the Library's report came out this week, and they're doing a lot to talk about banned books, which has been in the news lately. More than half of the public libraries report circulating technology, and that's the case for us as well. With the pandemic years, we really wanted to make sure that people could connect with the library. And in rural areas, a lot of times folks don't have the options or good signals, or maybe don't have the budget for an internet service, but you can borrow a hotspot now. We've got about 17 of those that you can check out, take home, and turn on your internet. We want to keep everybody together virtually. If, with difficulties in being together in person, that was a big challenge during the times when we were quarantining and worried about getting out as much. But we also expanded the Wi-Fi service to our parking lot 24/7. So anyone that needs to stop in and, you know, park out there with the car and get online that way. I know I've done that before too. Chromebooks and laptops are also available for borrowing, and that was a big thing with remote learning. And of course, now there's a lot of telemed conferences and things where you can meet your doctors online, but you might not have the equipment to do it. If you need to plan ahead and check out a Chromebook or a laptop, we've got about 8 Chromebooks and 4 laptops, maybe a little bit more on the Chromebook end. We're getting some new ones. We have some new technology on site as well, and this is so exciting. The top bar there is talking about the video conferencing lab. As I mentioned, you can borrow internet to do your video conferencing from home, but you can also come into the library, and we've got a special little room available that you can sit in, and has a webcam, laptop, and from, you know, the way to hook up and talk to folks. I'm a pandemic baby grandma, and my little baby's living out of state, so we do a lot of video talks. Getting ready to go see them soon, but anything you need to use the webcam laptop for, there is a room here that you can use it. And we also have a new microfilm reader. This is really, really, really nice. I had a patron to come in and look up some microfilm going back to the 1950s. We've got reels from the Journal Patriot before they became the Journal Patriot, when they were just a Patriot, from the early 1900s all the way to 2015. And so we were able to find what they were looking for, and you can enhance and scan and crop and save things from the newspaper and send it by email or download it to a thumb drive, print it out. It's just really nice and easy to use. And we also included ukuleles in our non-traditional collection. That's something new, but we hit it a little bit too soon, but I guess you can see Casey Joe, our county commissioner, he was here on St. Patrick's Day, so we made him pose with the green ukulele. He had a nice green shirt on. And fishing poles and sporting equipment, exercise equipment, bird watching kits, just all kinds of things are in that non-traditional collection. So come and discover what we have here and take some of those things home if you like. And as I wanted to say, all of those non-traditional items are freely loaned with a library card. And part of the report, State of America's Libraries report, discovered that even though we all prefer print books, or many of us still like to read print over ebooks, the ebook consumption is rising steadily. And I think that during the pandemic, that virtual option became something that folks were able to discover and use more and more. And I just wanted to introduce Libby. This is an app on our, where you can download the app, and it connects to our Overdrive collection. And you just locate your library, Appalachian Regional Library, open up our online collection, and you can borrow magazines, ebooks, audiobooks from any browser. I like to listen to audiobooks on my phone through the car. But you know, you can put them on your tablet or computer as well. Magazines are awesome. You can just find cooking and sporting and children's magazines and craft magazines and just read them online. And there are so many to choose from. You know, all the brand names that you know and love, even the People magazine to Time magazine and Rolling Stone, and oh, so many. I like the crochet ones. Here is another interesting figure for you to look at. We have a new thing installed on our checkout system. So when you check out your books, it'll, at the bottom of your tape, it'll tell you how much money you saved by using from the library rather than going out to purchase those books from Amazon or on Audible or Netflix. They based the calculator on those prices of average books and ebooks and DVDs and such as that. So we put in the number of circulations last year and calculated how many dollars were saved by our patrons throughout the county. And you can see that big number, $1,668,796. That was pretty impressive.
Oh, yeah.
Another thing, yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say we recently started homeschooling and we've utilized the library a lot this year. So on top of purchasing other books and curriculum, the library has saved us so much.
Yes, it's definitely a saver and I'm glad you're homeschooling and using our library. I always want to tell folks that I think the library in general is like a people's university. It's where you can learn about anything. And if we don't have the information, we can borrow it from another place. And so, you know, you can pretty much educate yourself and not have to pay tuition. Of course, you need that certificate, but being a homeschooler mom, you know how to get one. So, yeah, that's great. And definitely check out your receipt next time you borrow and look down at the bottom and see how many dollars you saved, because it calculates individually. We just put in the numbers for the entire cert count for the last year and saw that big number come out there. And we were like, wow, that's a lot. And we didn't even calculate, which we could go back and calculate the numbers of Wi-Fi connections and meetings and programs, you know, folks that use the internet, how many times it was used, that also calculates to a dollar amount. So
yeah, and we use the Libby and what's the other one for the kids? The NC.
Okay, now there's another one that kind of zoomed by. I didn't get to mention it, so thanks for bringing that up. And that is the NC Digital Kids Library.
Yeah, we use that one as well.
That one's really awesome. You can just click into our website and find any number of books, and even the smaller picture books with the, and you probably use this, you know, but it has highlighted words that read it out loud, and so the children can read along, and even chapter books for kids. So it's pretty cool. We actually have been using that NC Kids Digital Library for a number of years. I think at least I'd say about the last 6 or 7 years. And our counties, our region is like always in the top 10 for usage across the state. So that's another exciting thing for that. But as I mentioned, there was a lot of banned books attempts in the last year, and I read through the State of Libraries report, which you can find online, but we also have a copy here, and it's 27 pages long, so I just took a few slides from it. But they had mentioned that this past year, there were more challenges this year than there have been in other years. I guess a lot of, you know, things have happened with us politically and racial justice, social justice issues, and just all these things happening in the world has put people on guard to what they want to read or what they think others should not read. I mean, it's all in our mind. It's fine to censor yourself or your family, your children, for instance, but to deny others from having that experience to find information they need is kind of daunting there. So that number shows how many challenges to the books, and also a quote from our American Library Association president, Ms. Patty. Diverse books create better lens through which all children can see themselves in library collections, and yet these very titles, the ones addressing cultural invisibility and cultivating understanding, are the ones that are most frequently challenged. We did put some numbers together that show who initiates our challenges on censorship, and I like the little image of the caged bird. It reminds me of Maya Angelou's book, but also putting books in a cage, and instead of you know, keeping them away from folks, let those books fly free and put them out there. So these are based on responses to as you see, a little over 700 responses that they surveyed and got information on. And these are words that were actually cited in the censorship reports, reasons they were challenging some of the books. These are the 10 most challenged books. I'm sure you can't see their titles. You know, they're kind of hidden because that's what censorship does. It tries to hide things. I know that we have a few of these in our collection, and some are actually circulating, and you may be familiar with some of them. This Bluest Eye is covered down here where I'm hovering, is a book by Toni Morrison, and she's great to highlight the plight of African Americans and the struggles and, you know, coming to equality. Oops, I hit too quick. If you had any questions there, I do have more information here in the library from the Office of Intellectual Freedom about the covers. You may recognize some of them, you may not. These are just the top 10. And of course, there's a lot of books that are challenged, but these definitely have raised awareness in this past year. So now we're getting to the fun part of this slide. I want everybody to meet the staff. I feel that, you know, I have the most excellent team working here, and they're always helping me put things together and keeping it going. Right now, Bridget is in the room. Hey, Bridget. You can't see her. She's behind the scenes setting up refreshments for us. But she and you'll meet her on one of these slides as well. But our staff really work hard. This shows a few folks that work on the circulation team. Well, this is our circulation team. And they don't always work at the same time, so I had to take a couple pictures to get them all in on this page. But Daphne over in the black dress, she's our department manager, and she does a lot of ordering for the collection and also weeding out some older books and making room for newer and better editions. When they wear out, she keeps them up to date and keeps our collection current with good reads. And all of these ladies, they do so much to help out on the front end, promoting our programs, creating displays. Leanne over in the striped shirt to the right, she's the originator of the Reader's Advisory Treat, which you won't really see in this slide, but if you come in the library, right across from the circulation desk, there's a tree full of good recommended reads, and it's seasonal. So if you see it in the background, they've got some dogwoods and umbrellas and things for spring hanging from the tree today. But they do such great work to promote our programs and keep our patrons happy, finding good books and excellent customer service there. The next slide brings up, here we go, our tech team. This is technical services, and they catalog all the books in the collection. And the folks here to the right, you know, left to right, we got Bridget, Nicole, and Ryan. Nicole's the department manager, Bridget's her assistant, and Ryan, he adds, he finds all the books well, what he does is he ships and receives all the books across the counties and through the consortium as well. We share a catalog with libraries from across the state. So if it's not on our shelves and you need it and we can find it, we'll get it to come here. That's a lot of books. Ryan's busy up here ripping tape and packing boxes and putting books in the right crates and getting them to where they need to go. And I couldn't find a good picture of our courier, but we do have a courier. I'll shout out to Greg. He runs between the 3 counties in our region to help us get the books back and forth into the hands of our patrons as fast as we can. So you can always, find what you're looking for. And then we have our children's staff. Whoops. Kind of flew high. Let me back it up and I'll go back in order. If you're a homeschool mom, you probably met these ladies here. They're amazing with programs and story times and things online. Elizabeth, our department manager there in the middle, and Jennifer and Sarah. During, as I said, during the pandemic, we had to kind of pivot our focus to do more things in a virtual way to keep people engaged and to help folks out during those hard months. And then turned into another, second year. But we're starting to prepare for allowing folks to come in for in-person programming. We're happy to see that the numbers and cases in our county are in the green, and we're feeling confident with all the vaccinations and boosters and folks being cautious about their health, that we can allow folks back in the building for big programming. So getting ready for the summer and having plans to have fun stuff for the kids here as well as online. We'll still have things online. This usually runs by itself, but I'm doing the arrows, and so it's touchy. Elizabeth, if you haven't watched her Monday Mayhem, check her out on Facebook Live. She's just great with that craft program. And our adult services team upstairs, we have Amanda, Wendy, Marlon, and Deb. And Marlon there in the blue flowered shirt, she's our department manager. And she works closely to get her tentacles out into the community, so to say, and work with the partners that we have supporting our library for different types of programs. But they stay very busy up top with the genealogy room and the computer lab and reference questions and proctoring, and we have fax and notary services here. So, anything like that. And Marlon also orders the books for our nonfiction collection, which is located on the top floor. So if you need any help with research projects with your homeschoolers, she can help you find what you need to. One big thing that we are going to be doing, it's really mentioned in the last slide, but I'll go ahead and say it now. We are partnering with North Carolina Humanities Council to do a state read, and they've selected 5 counties from around the state, and we were lucky to be one of them, to feature a common read for conversation and discussion via Zoom, a virtual conversation with the author. And the book we're featuring is chosen, I think, mainly to highlight our everybody wanting to have the Speedway back. The small track Speedway here in North Wilkesboro is up for renovation, and hopefully it will be up and running at one point sooner than we hope later. But in the meanwhile, the book that we're reading is called Driving with the Devil, and it's all about the history of NASCAR, along with moonshine and Detroit Motors and all those stories. So that'll be a real interesting conversation, and that takes place in June. So you have time to get the book. We've got copies coming in for the community to read. This is our branch out in Trap Hill. Linda is our branch manager, and she's open there 3 days a week, every Tuesday and Thursday, and every other Saturday. So it's 2 days, 1 week, 3 days the next. But she's out there to help you pick up books if you live in that direction. You can also check out, as I said, any of our non-traditional items. Just let her know what you're looking for. But we've started a couple of new programs at the branch location, trying to increase usage and bring the community in. So I'm just an amateur plucker on the banjo, but it's really fun jamming with other musicians. And we want to encourage folks that you're never too old to learn how to play some music, or just come and listen. But if you're a musician, if you want to grab a guitar and learn how to play, just come and join us. Every 4th Saturday from 1 to 3, we'll be out there making some music. And then on the first Thursdays at 5, which happens to be tonight, we have a group that meets at the Roaring River Vineyards, and it's called the Reading Trap. And we read sometimes books that are older and maybe forgotten or looked over. Maybe you haven't read them before, maybe you have. Just kind of trying to knock out this very long to read list that we discovered. It's 1,001 books that you must read before you die. So, you know, I put a little review in the news now and then on different books that we've read. If you're interested in finding out more about the reading trap, we can send you, you know, details as well. But just come out and visit with us. Tonight, the book we're reading is called The Great Railway Bazaar, and it's a train travel memoir by Paul Theroux. He took a train from Britain all the way to India for 4 months on that long train trip, and he tells about his adventures by rail. Now, this is one of my cohorts working with me very heavily this semester from ASU. Aruna, we're going to hate to see her go, but she graduates this semester, and maybe we'll get another intern in next semester. That's been a really nice partnership. This is my first time to have an ASU intern, and she's from App State, working on her social work degree, and she's been doing some outreach projects with us. We've been out to the homeless shelter on occasion, at least every month, once or twice, since she's been here, to share the resources available, and also to share a community resource guide that can help folks in transition with housing or any other thing that they might need to know and find out about. Right now, her big project is our Veterans History Project, and it's really a community engagement type of project, but with COVID, it's kind of become more in-house, but we're hoping to recruit volunteers if any of you are interested. And for the students, it's a great learning project. So if your students at home, I don't know the ages of your family, but if they have a family member who did service in the military and want to share pictures and help us record their story, we would love to include them in our archive. And what we're hoping for is to publish this archive into a print edition and have it available for veterans and their family members. That will be an ongoing project, an annual work. So it's never too late to find out about that. It's just our first attempt here in Wilkesboro to do it.
That's amazing. My daughter is 12, almost 13, but my husband is a veteran, so.
Awesome. You could have her talk to her dad and gather some photos. And you know, we do a snapshot of our veterans that talk about not just their service years, but their life in general, like where they grew up and their family and hobbies and, you know, jobs that they had and things they studied and where they went and served, what branch and what time period they were in service. And then following service, some things they might share might be their civilian careers. And it's just a little snapshot about them. I can, following this, if you want to send your email to me in the chat, I will forward you more information in case you'd like to do that with her. It's really a really nice project that, well, I've had experience with it being new in Wilkesboro. This is new for Wilkesboro, but the last 4 years we did it in Ashe County. So I can send you the archive of how it looks for what we did over there. And now we're doing it over here. So that's a really, really cool thing.
Thank you.
Recently, we just opened up a little literacy center. You can maybe see it behind the folks in the picture here at the laundromat in Wilkesboro. And so children there with their families while they're waiting on the wash to wash and dry, they have books and activities and puzzles and things that they can sit at the little table and participate or to learn from. And books also at this center are kind of like little free libraries. So if they disappear and go home in the hands of a child, that's great. We want them to get some reading at home as well. Jean Hefner, she's in the burgundy jacket there next to the dryer. She's a director of Wilkes Literacy, and she's in her organization is in partnership with us at this outreach venue to share health literacy information and also She's a contributor of books, so we always have books available. Elizabeth, right beside Jean, she's our, as I said, our children's manager. She goes out to the laundromat. We just opened it, so she went out yesterday for the first on-site story time. She did say that sometimes if there's a lot of machinery rumbling in the background, it's hard to really hear a story, but she's got activities and information and things to give away to families out there. So come and visit the laundromat if you need to. If you don't, that's fine. But if you need to wash clothes there, come and check out when we'll be there. There'll be a calendar available on our website, and you might get to just visit and learn about things with your kids. But we do have some story walks out in the parks, which you may or may not be aware of, and little free libraries spread around in different locations. And we like to partner, like I said, with lots of different folks in the community to do pop-up events. So you often will see us down at the farmers market and different town events with our library tent. I know coming up soon will be the Trout-tacular Day with the town of North Wilkesboro. And they are one of the partners that help us with the fishing poles that we circulate. So we'll be out there as well. We just get out as much as we can to share the library with the community. And finally, as I mentioned, the programming, I talked about the NC Reads Humanities Read book and our Veterans History Project. We do have a talking service book club, and this meets every second Friday. You can find information for this on our website. Trying to condense things for a slideshow presentation is really hard. But this is an opportunity for veterans to get together and read different selected readings related to times in combat and times in peace, and things that they, might have, a commonality for conversation around that. It is a kind of a therapeutic book club, and kind of helps with thoughts of trauma that veterans have always, in service for our country, have lost and sacrificed lots of their days, and time and memory sometimes are traumatic. So I've heard this is kind of a therapeutic group for the conversations that we have. We're actually meeting tomorrow, and the conversation is actually a reading based on a dialogue Ulysses wrote in reference to the Peloponnesian War. And one of our veterans suggested that as a read and conversation because it seems like so relevant to what's going on in the dialogue between Ukraine and Russia. So we're kind of looking at history and comparing it to now. And, it's not just for veterans. Talking services for caretakers and family members and just anyone who wants to know and understand more about war and cultural boundaries and that kind of thing. So you might be interested in that someday. But for the children, definitely the summertime is a big deal here. And we have lots of programming coming up. The theme this year is Oceans of Possibilities. We have some theme related programming to explore the sea, and not just the sharks in the water, but maybe the imaginary, but also the imaginary sea creatures like mermaids. So I think the mermaid show is coming this summer, and that's one of my favorite things is mermaids. And then I guess that will wrap up the presentation. I just thank you all for supporting us as friends and patrons, and we love our patrons, and we just want to continue to connect with all of you and reach forward with our keywords here: empowerment, exploration, and inspiration. So